Today we are putting our drawings onto title blocks. So to start out with, you're going to go to Google Classroom, go to PopUp Shop, Revit Models, PopUp Shop Drawings on Title Block, and then you want to download this file. I updated it so it should work on Revit 2019 now. Oh no, motorcycles. Okay. So it won't preview, but just hit download. All right, so now I'm going to go into Revit. I'm going to go to Insert, Load Family, and then I want to navigate to my downloads. So wherever that is for you, for me, it's under Windows C, Users, and Downloads. Okay, so I'm going to take this and open it up. Great, now I'm going to make a new sheet. To make a new sheet, I go to View, I go to Sheet, and then I want to select this one, the BDS 11x17 horizontal, and hit OK. So that's going to bring up a sheet for me that I can now put drawings on. Over here, you're going to put in your project name. So this could be, depending, I don't know what the name of your fashion store is, but it could be like Super Fashion Floating Pop-Up Shop. And you'll notice that it's going over this. I can fix that. For now, I'm just going to, I can show you how to fix that. So if your name is going over that, you can go to Edit Family. And you can bring this down. You just move it down and then hit Load into Project and Close. Hit No. Overwrite the existing version as parameter values. And that'll bring it back down into the line. So that's editing the family outside of this current file. So then over here, owner. So there's a question mark and an owner. The first one is for your name. So Z. And then for owner, you would put in the name of your fashion designer. Okay, on your first sheet, I want you to put your plans. So I'm going to put on here plans. And then for your issue date, you are going to be issuing these on Friday, which is, I believe, it's 3rd. Let me double check. Yeah, so you're going to be issuing these on 3-3-2023. Okay, so now to bring drawings onto here, I just come over to my level 1 floor plan and drag it over. You'll notice right now that this is all way bigger than will fit on my sheet, but I have a lot of white space here. So I'm going to double click. I'm going to move in my elevation views so that they aren't so far away. So I'm going to take this and drag it so it's right up next to close to my building. I'm clicking on the square and dragging it up and nice and close to my building. Clicking on the square and dragging it nice and close to my building. Clicking on the square and dragging it nice and close to my building. So that only moves the icons. It doesn't move your actual view. If you want to move the actual elevation view, you need to drag this actual piece. So that line that shows up, you click on the triangle, and then you can drag the line up. Same thing here, click on the triangle, drag the line up. Okay, so that's all corrected. I still want to crop my view in, it's too big. So I'm going to come down here. Actually, I'm going to go to my properties under floor plan and hit crop view. And then over here under my display properties, I'm going to hit show crop region. And then that's going to give me this box that lets me crop in my view. I click and drag the bubbles in to make my view smaller. Once I'm happy with it, I can turn that box back off and I can double click outside of it to get rid of that. I can now drag my view onto the sheet, click and drag. The title you'll notice is still way down here. So I'm going to click and drag the title up right underneath it. That tells me what level I'm on and it also tells me the scale of the view. Then I'm going to click on the box again, so click on this view region, and you'll notice this bubble shows up. I can drag that bubble in so that that title block just exists, or that title line just exists under my drawing. I'm going to do the same thing for level 2. Drag on level 2 and place it, and you'll notice that little line that shows up. That's telling me that my 2 views are aligned. I'm going to bring this down. Okay. So right now it looks like I have some weird things going on in level 2, so I'm going to double click and look at it. So let's see, let's put it on hidden line. I think that's right. I think it's the underlay that's kind of throwing me off here. Or maybe I'm just missing a roof on this view, but I'm going to turn my underlay off. So I'm going to hit none, and that way I just see my level 2 view there. I don't see my level 1 at the same time. It's your decision whether you want to show both. It might make more sense for yours. We could talk individually about how you want to display your model and display settings. So I'm going to double click outside here, and that's all set. Okay. I think I have 2 more drawings I need to make. So I'm going to go back to View, Sheet, same BDS 11x17, hit OK. Here I'm drawing on elevations. So I'm going to change the name here to elevations. And you'll notice that everything else is already updated. It's already put in my date from before. It's already put in my name. It's already put in the name of the project. So I'm going to come over here to my project browser, and I'm going to bring in my north elevation. This is way too big. I'm going to double click. I can crop my view. So if I go back to my properties, I'm going to turn on crop view with this little checkbox. And then I should be able to see, oh, I need to do crop region visible, the checkbox underneath, and I can see this. I'm going to drag these in. Drag them in, and you'll notice that those grid lines are going with it, which is fabulous. Dragging those in. Okay, great. So that is all set. I then am going to come back down here to my display bar. I'm going to hide crop region, double click outside. So there's my one view. And you'll notice this line is really big again. I'm just going to drag it right underneath. Click on here and bring that in. And so then I also want to bring in the east view. For you, you'll figure out what views make the most sense to bring in. So I'm going to drag in my east view. For example, you might want to show your entrances. If you have a lot of glazing on one facade, you might want to show that. So same deal here. I just dragged in from the project browser. I'm bringing my east view because I have this mural wall. I'm going to double click on here. I'm going to turn on my crop view and my crop region visible. And then I'm going to click on here so I can see the bubbles, drag them in. Then I'm going to come down to my display box, or I could do it over here in properties, either one, and unclick crop region visible, right click, deactivate view. I'm going to bring this more onto my sheet, and then I'm going to drag this underneath, click on the view title so the other bubble shows up to make that smaller. Maybe I'll bring this over a little bit. Okay, so now my 2 elevations on here. I'm wondering if I can make these a little bit bigger than 1/8. So if I click on here, let's just see, can I make them bigger than 1/8? If I go to my view scale and I pop this up to 3/16, that looks like it's still going to fit on my paper. I don't know if I can fit 2 at 3/16. Let me try the other one. So I can pop this up to 3/16. If I crop it in a little bit closer, I can. But I think I actually am going to leave them at 1/8 so that they read the same as the plans. So I'm going to go back over here, back to 1/8. I will say that like 1/8 is a pretty typical scale. 3/16 is a little bit of a weird scale. Usually you have plans and elevations at 1/8 or 1/4 or 1/2, something more even than 3/16. Okay, but that's how you would change the scale if you chose to. Great, so I have my elevations done. I have one more, which is my 3D views. So I'm going to go back to sheet, create a new one, hit OK. Here I'm going to call this 3D views or perspectives. I want one interior perspective and one exterior perspective. To make those, I'm going to double click in my project browser in level 1. I'm going to grab my camera so I can go to view, 3D view, hit the little down arrow and grab my camera. And for this, I'm going to uncrop it for a minute. So I'm going to hit do not crop view. I'm going to place my camera wherever I want to stand, and then I'm going to put it looking at my building. I can then drag these to adjust the top, and I can change these to realistic view down here. So I'm going to change this to from visual style to realistic, and I'm going to turn off my crop region. Okay, so there is my first view. I'm going to create one more view. So here I'm going to do an interior view. So I'm going to go again to view, 3D view, hit the down arrow, camera. Maybe I'm standing here and looking out. So here is my 3D view. I'm going to make that a little bit bigger so I can see inside my store. Not much in here yet. Hopefully the models are a little bit more developed than this example one I've made. Okay, if ever this, like, we'll talk about size in a second, but if I find that the size isn't working for me, that is adjustable. So I go over here, I'm going to put it in realistic view. Obviously I'm missing a roof. There's a lot still to do here. Okay, so now that I've made those views, I'm going to go back to my sheet up here, perspective views, and I'm going to drag on 3D view show from my project browser just below everything else. So I'm going to click on the plus sign, I'm going to bring on 3D view 1, just click and drag. And I'm going to bring on 3D view 2. So 3D view 2 is coming up as bigger than I want it to. So I'm going to double click, I'm going to click on here. If I right click, I have to remember where to do this. So if I go to size crop, I think it is. So again, to go to there, I clicked, I double clicked into here, my view property. I then clicked on this outside box and I went here to size crop. And here, I don't want to change my field of view. I want to change my scale. So I'm going to click on scale. And right now it's 12 inches wide. I'm going to make it maybe 7 inches wide and hit apply. And see if that looks like it's going to work a little better. And I think I want it even a little smaller. So I'm going to make it 6 inches wide. And then hit apply, hit OK. Now, if I come over here, you'll see that that totally fits on my sheet. And maybe I can get them both a little bit bigger. I might also want to try to make them the same height. So those are all things I could change again by double clicking on the outside, going to size crop and changing it here. So let's say I wanted the height to be 6 inches instead. Make sure it says scale here. Hang on, let me cancel that because I had the wrong thing checked. Size crop, scale, make the height 6 inches, hit OK. Okay, and so then that's looking much better to me. So now I'm going to again, I click on my viewport so I can grab this title. And I click on my viewport to bring the bubble in. Okay, I want these to line up, so I'm going to drag that down. I also want to change the name here. So if I go to if I click on this title and go to properties, I can change the name of it. So let's see, medium, extents, view name. So I could change this to exterior view and hit apply. And then this one, same deal. I come over to my properties, scroll down to view name and change this to interior view. And hit apply. Okay, so now everything is looking good. Notice that there's no scale that comes in down here because these perspective views are not to a scale, they're their own thing. And notice also that these can't align to each other because they're perspective views, unlike my orthographic views. Once I'm happy with these 3 sheets, I'm going to print them. So I'm going to save my file. I'm going to go to File, Print. I'm going to select my sheets. So I'm going to select, and here I want to select these 3 sheets, 1, 2, 3. Hit OK. Hit yes. I'm going to call this set 1. That's all good. Under my name, I want to make this Adobe PDF or whatever PDF creator you have on your computer. For my computer, I have to go to Properties and unclick Rely on System Fonts Only. Otherwise, it doesn't work for some reason. I also can change this to be 11 by 17. Under Layout, it's Landscape, which is good. So that's all fine. And then I'm going to go to Setup over here and just make sure that I have Tabloid, Landscape, Zoom. I'm going to do 100% of size. I don't want it rescaling. And for paper placement, I always put it on center. And make sure that these options are all the same. So hide reference work planes, hide unreferenced view tags, hide scope boxes, hide crop boundaries. Okay, it probably will go to raster processing for the 3D views, but it can do that on its own. And I'll save this as tabloid. Okay. The last thing is I want you to create separate files as opposed to one single file. On my computer, it crashes if I try to do the multiple files. That's why I have separate files. You'll notice that it's saving here. You might need to tell it to save in your downloads so that it will work. And you can put in your name, and then you can put in something about your pop-up shop. So pop-up shop draft, and then hit save. Okay, so I'm going to hit OK. It's going to ask me, do I want to continue? I hit yes. And then it's going to try to save each one. So again, you might need to navigate to your downloads. So, and notice it already renames it for me. I hit save. It's going to print it. That's fine. Hit save again. It's going to happen 3 times. And then this one looks like it got messed up. No, it's still there. It's just my computer. All right. And then this one, I'm going to hit save again. And same deal. It's there. It's just my computer having some issues. So now if I go to my downloads folder and I can put it into preview. So you can see that these are my 3 drawings, and those are the 3 drawings that I want you to upload to Google Classroom today so that we can print them out and make some notes on what revisions you need to make tomorrow. Thank you.